Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our next live stream. I'll be your producer for this session. Before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional, and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters to answer live. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Reactor channel. With that, I'd love to turn it over to our speakers for today. Thank you for joining.
Hey, hey.
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 Hey, everyone. I'm so excited. Thank you both for joining me for today's session, Inside the Mind of a Dataviz World Champion. And you were both finalists in the past. So I'm so excited that I can talk to you both today. Thank you for being here. And in today's session, we have an hour. It's live. You can comment on YouTube. And we are trying to share as much information as possible, not only about the championship, but also about the experience of Lakshmi and Michał. And we even have a little game in the middle of the session that you can all participate in. So we will talk about that a little bit later. We have a lot of content for you. So let's get started with a quick introduction of all of us. And I'm going to start. I'm Valerie. I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP from the Netherlands. And I love Power BI and I love data visualization. And I share content about it. So if you want to connect with me or have a look at my content, go to my YouTube or LinkedIn. But more important, of course, are today Lakshmi and Michał. And Lakshmi, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Lakshmi. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and on a professional level, I'm a data analyst at Missouri University of Science and Technology. So basically, I play with Power BI every single day. And I'm very proud to say that I am a two-time Power BI Dataviz World Championship finalist. And I might participate again as well. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I write blogs on Medium. I will make sure to drop the links in the chat. Over to you, Michał.
I'm sorry, that's on me. I'm a little slow here.
So, hi everyone. I'm Michał. I'm the first finalist of 2026 because now we have another rounds going, and I'm already amazed by all those works that people are uploading. Well, so I am a BI developer, soon to be a senior Power BI developer, and all thanks to Atlanta. I've always loved data. I loved visualizing it. And I actually put Power BI and Fabric everywhere. Even my home is a smart home. And I've integrated it with Fabric just, to play with it, to do some nice analysis. And yeah, if I can measure something, then I'm on it, I'm going to connect my car probably too. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'll probably be putting links on LinkedIn, some tutorials on how I'll be doing it, so I can actually measure and maybe map on Fabric apps or Power BI how my routes are, how is my fuel efficiency. This is the project, in the meantime, I have lots of projects, and this is one of them.
Wow. So make sure, everyone, to follow as well Lakshmi as Michał on LinkedIn to see what they are up to, because this sounds really exciting. And before we go into the content today, I want to give you a little bit of information about this session. It's part of the 60 Days of Data and AI series. And this is a series powered by community. So we have all these sessions that people are presenting that are part of the community. If you want to get more information, scan the QR code or go to the website, and the link will be in the chat also. So have a look what we are up to. There already were some sessions. You can watch them back. So if you have missed some of the sessions, make sure to watch them. And there's still some sessions ahead. And of course, you can also get certified. And I know everyone wants to get certified. It's good to get certified to show what you achieved and what you've learned. So follow the link that we will also put in the chat to get Fabric or SQL certified for free, because it's not just getting certified, it's getting certified for free. I mean, how great is that? And talking about the sessions that are ongoing, we have kind of two types of sessions going on. There are a lot of get certified sessions, and there are 2 time zones, which is perfect because everyone can follow a session in their time zone or a time zone that fits best for them. And currently we have a lot of DP 800 sessions. So if you want to get certified and get the DP 800 exam, make sure to follow them. And we also have sessions that are much more community centered. Like I think July 16th, we have Stop Lurking, Start Connecting. You belong in the Microsoft Data and AI community. That sounds already amazing. But also on July 28th, like from I'm just getting started to I made this. So these session titles are already amazing. And I think the sessions will be too. Make sure to have a look. You can scan the QR code or follow the link for the schedule to follow these sessions or watch them back if you don't have time at that moment. These sessions are live. If you watch this right now and you're on YouTube, you can see there's a chat, and we have amazing moderators there. And these people are really doing the heavy lifting because they are trying to answer all your questions. So don't be shy. Put your questions there and they will react on it. I will introduce them, 3 of them to you. The first one is Alpa, who is a Microsoft Data Platform MVP and this is amazing, also a Microsoft certified trainer. I mean, MVP and MCT. And she has a LinkedIn channel, YouTube channel, and a Medium channel. So make sure to follow Alpa and learn from her. Then we also have Jennifer, who is a Microsoft Data Platform super user. And she has a LinkedIn profile and a Reddit profile. Make sure to follow her for all the best tips and connect with her. It's so great to connect with people from the community that have the same passion. And last but not least, we also have Jen, who is a principal content designer at Microsoft. So if you ever wanted to ask questions to someone from Microsoft in a live chat, today is your chance. Make sure to put all your questions there. And I'm so happy and grateful that these people agreed to be our moderators and answer all the questions. So thank you all for that. Talking about the Dataviz World Championship, you've maybe seen it before. If you want to get more information about it, or you don't know where to find the information, make sure to have a look and scan the QR code or follow the link. We will also put it in the chat to get all the information in at one place. And if you wonder, why should I join? Should I join? Am I good enough? I don't know. This is maybe a little bit scary. The answer is always yes, you should join. Because joining is such a great way to create a report that you can share with others, share with the community, and a report that you can get actually feedback on. And I see a lot of people around me, when I ask them, can you show me a Power BI report? They always tell me, I can't show you that because it has client data and I can't share that with you. So that's sad, because how do I know what you can do? How can I know how I can help you if I don't know where you are at the moment? It's so important to share what you're creating. And joining a competition like this, you actually get a data set and you can create that Power BI report and share it with everyone. And additionally, you can get inspired. And I always get so inspired. Like when I look at the reports from Lakshmi and Michał, I'm like, whoa, did you do that? Is that even possible? I didn't even think about this. And then I try to recreate it. And sometimes I even message people like, can you tell me how you did that? Because I want to know that. And that's how we learn. And if I look back at the reports I created like 5 years ago and I compare them with the reports today, they look completely different. But the only way I got where I am today is because I tried it, because I got inspired and I tried new things. So please participate, get inspired. And of course, you can also win swag. I mean, that's just like free certification, free swag is also amazing. You can, of course, brag about it, but most important, if you are a finalist, you can actually compete live on stage at FabCon in Barcelona, which to me seems very scary, but go for it. This must be an amazing experience. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about that from you both later on. But I think this is such a good reasoning why you should join. You can learn, you can get inspired, you can show what you can do, and maybe it even helps you to get a job in the future. And if you wonder how to participate, join the Fabric community and follow the link. Because it's not difficult, but you need to join. You need to be part of the community. So sign up for that, download the starter file, read the contest rules. That's important. And review the judging criteria. It's all in one place. So just join and read all that information and then start building. And if you want, get feedback or build with others, because that's so much more fun than doing something yourself. Or just by yourself, and then submit. And then maybe you win. And I think I saw something with one of my eyes in the chat that Lakshmi even won some Fabric sneakers in the past.
Yes.
Oh,
So if you are
That's-
a finalist, you get great swag.
Yeah,
wow.
I can confirm.
I mean, that's amazing. Who doesn't want some Fabric sneakers or other swag? So that's so great.
It was such a banger when I came back, after Atlanta to my company, and I had my T-shirt was FabCon T-shirt, and I also had some sneakers. I had some other stickers, and just so much swag that it's actually great. It still sits with me, even this. Oh my god, even this, the finalist. Yeah, I still have it here.
That's so great. So everyone, you should join. You should try to also compete on that stage in Barcelona. And if you wonder, how can I join? Like when is it happening? We have some key dates for you. And maybe you see some dates before and they changed a little bit in everyone's advantage because the dates were a little bit extended. The kickoff was a month ago and round 1 has already ended. But we are currently in the middle of round 2, which will finish on July 19th. And I think there's a great Lego data set. And if you don't have time because you think, okay, next weekend I don't have time, but I at least want to try one round, you have another chance. The third round is actually starting July 28th, and it will go until August 9th. And every round there will be a winner, but there is also a wildcard winner selected by the judges. And of course, the finals, they will be at FabCon in Barcelona, where you can compete with all the other finalists on stage, which is just an amazing opportunity. And I mean, it's Barcelona. We all want to go there, don't we? A little bit information about the judging criteria. There are basically 4 judging criteria: insightfulness, visual effectiveness, creativity and innovation, and accessibility. And you can read more about them when you follow the link, but I can give you some quick insights here. Insightfulness is, does your report clearly communicate meaningful insights? So there's a difference between putting data on a canvas and putting data in a meaningful way on a canvas in a report. So you can actually take actions or see a trend. The second one is visual effectiveness, because it's not just about pretty visuals, it's about visuals that people understand. Is the design easy to understand? Is it a good chart choice for what you want to show? Do you make smart use of text and color? And is it not too cluttered? And then, of course, we have creativity and innovation. And I love to be creative, and I would like to encourage you in that. Think outside the box, try new stuff. Don't just copy what other people are doing, but think about, what could I do? How could I do this differently? Just try everything, because this is your project. You don't need to do what other people are telling you. You can just be creative here. And the fourth one, and this one is super important, is accessibility. We want to create reports that are inclusive, which means we need to think about alt text, color contrast, logical tab order, these kind of things. And I hope our moderators have a link or some links for you about accessibility in Power BI, because there are great websites that talk about that and show you examples, because it's really important to create inclusive reports. So you don't need to memorize this. All this information is also provided to you. And it's all about clear insight, effective visuals, make it inclusive, and have fun and try to create something and submit. So don't create something and then don't submit. I want you all to submit. Even if it's not 100% finished in your mind, just submit, because that's the most important. So that's all the information we have about the World Championship. Follow the link. And now we want to do something a little bit more interactive, because you listened to me for 15 minutes now. We want you to also think about some things, because we want to do the Dataviz myth check. Each of us has one Dataviz myth, and we are asking each other, what are you thinking about this? Do you think it's true or false, yes or no? And why? Because you've probably all heard about these things that people tell you, this is the best practice, you should always do this. And then you think, is that really true? It depends on the audience. It depends on the data, the story. So we want to talk about this. And I think it's important to tell you that before we start, there is no definite yes or no. So just put in the chat what you think, and maybe even write down why you think that, and have a discussion about it. And we will have that discussion live here. So are you ready, Lakshmi?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're ready?
Yes.
Then I will
Should
start
we do
with
like
my...
the go?
Yeah.
Mythbusters.
Go Mythbusters.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Because we start with number 1, which I actually have for you two prepared. And that's always start the y-axis at 0. What do you think? Yes or no? True or false?
True.
Oh, no.
Oh, true and false.
Yes.
Okay.
I think there's going to be a fight here today.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Lakshmi, tell me, why do you think it's true?
Okay. I'd say 2 to 3 reasons. First, before I tell my reasons, I really want to know what the audience thinks. So I would love for the audience to put true or false. So I said true, so I'm going to try to convince all those who are telling false. So the first reason why I think that always starting at 0 is essential is because I really think that it prevents misleading visuals. For example, say I am trying to show sales growth, and the growth is from 10 to 12. If I do not have a zero-based axis, and 10 to 12 is a modest growth, right? Just like 2-unit increase. if I do not have a 0 axis, I'm going to see a small increase, and that makes sense. But if I do not have a 0 axis and I'm starting from, say, 8, it's going to show me a huge increase that might mislead the audience. And that's why I think starting at 0 makes sense. Second, I also think that it sets the reader expectations, in the sense, if all my visuals are starting from 0, the user automatically understands that all the visual starts from 0. It sets an expectation. I do not have to look at the axis scale. And one more important thing is, I think it's very easy to do cross-chart comparisons when charts start with a 0. But some things that I do when I create visuals is I make sure that if I'm using a bar or column chart, I always start with 0. Line charts, sometimes I make sure I do not start with 0, just to make sure my line chart is visible. But I make sure to label my axis very clearly. So very important is, even if I don't start with 0, I make sure I label my axis. And something that I do, even in the Dataviz Championship, what I did was I started with a 0 axis, and then I added an inbuilt feature of Power BI called a zoom slider. So it gives the user a chance to slide through your axis. So yeah, hope people are convinced.
Okay, Michał, you didn't think it was true.
Yeah, it sounds true, but it's not. Because as you said, it always depends. As sometimes, you have different values, right? Like, high values that different, not so much. And when you start from 0, then your line is going to be, like this, and small ups and downs, which can be actually huge. It depends. It could be solved, the zoom, with the zoom axis, like Lakshmi said, but it's actually crucial that in this specific view, 0 does not help you. Also, like when you have scatter charts, for example, where you have a group of clustered points, which are, like 200 yards from 0 or something. And when you start from 0, then it's going to be either cut or very small, and you cannot see the detail. And actually, the 0 in this place does not play a huge role, because you just want to see the overall situation, not maybe compare it. So what I like to do, because the 0 sometimes is bad for me, I'm using my measures and my function, my measures, which I can then adjust the scale. So I can either start from 0 or make it bigger or make it, smaller. So I let the user decide, because I want to show them the truth, because 0 is always going to be the truth, mathematical truth, but it's not always the best for displaying things. So they can, do zoom in, or they can move the axis. So this way, I'm not doing the decision for them, but I give them tools to do so. So that's why I'm saying it's not always the best.
That's so smart, giving options. And what you're both saying, I'm hearing from both of you, like, put it somewhere that they can actually choose or see what's going on. Put it in the subtitle or in the legend or somewhere, because people need to see if we're not starting from 0. That's amazing. And you see, I agree with both of you. Like, it always depends. And I think the most important here is that we give people the option to choose what they want to see without misleading them. Okay, should we go to our myth number 2? Are you ready for that? Okay, let's go. I think this one's from Lakshmi.
Yes. Perfect. So here's our second myth. Every dashboard needs to have slicers or filters. I want the audience, take your time, think for a second, and let us know true or false. Don't think too much, and probably you would say it depends, but I want, just for the purpose of the game, I want you to pick a side that matches your thinking or matches what you would recommend. So true or false? And Valerie and Michał, I really want to know, what are your thoughts?
False. No.
Awesome. Another debate.
Yes, disagreement again.
Perfect. So Valerie, you said no, right?
I said no.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Convince us.
Okay, I'm trying to convince you here.
Yeah.
Because I think some dashboards are not like the usual Power BI reports that we know, where we go on the slicers or filters and choose things, but they're more like infographics where we're trying to show people one version of the truth. It's more informing everyone without clicking yourself. And maybe you even want to discourage people to click on things because maybe they make copies of it or screenshots, and you want to make sure if they make screenshots and send it around that everyone looks at the same information. So I don't think every dashboard needs them. It's always about the purpose. Yeah, that's my opinion.
I'm convinced because I'm team no too. Michał, now it's your turn.
So
We want
my
to know why
answer-
you said yes.
Yes, I said yes, because for me, dashboards, it's more than just a presentation, Power BI or in an Excel. When I'm building reports, I like to leverage all the things that Power BI gives you and to show people that the Power BI is not Excel, just prettier. So adding slicers, like, of course, you said that there are some dashboards like the infographics, and that's true. Some pages, but usually in a dashboard, in a report, then you have all the other pages, you have more things, and you should show that people can discover data, because I don't really believe in doing one how do you say it, one report just for one occasion. It's going to live probably like a year or two or maybe 3, and it's going to change. So the slicers let you adjust it to different situations and actually show the power of Power BI, because when you don't give them, you just have the interaction between visuals. So still you have more than an Excel, but slicers are another thing. So that's why I say that there should be at least one filter slicer for dates at least.
Yes, perfect. Thank you for your answers. And so again, the answer to it is actually it depends. But what I understood is like slices are very important to slice and dice your data, to explore the data. So when I create like analytical dashboards or operational dashboards, I make sure I have slices. But then when it's like executive or leader level dashboards, I don't want them to slicing and dicing 6 to 7 different slices before they find an answer. But thank you for sharing your points, and I'm going to keep this in mind always.
Yeah, but it should be balanced. I agree with you, because I've seen reports where you have like 20 slicers.
Oh my
So
God.
no, that's a no-go.
No.
It's also, I wouldn't say that's too much, because then people have to think what they want to
Yes.
see. And the
Yes.
report should already show you what you want to see, and what you don't know you can see. So the
Love
slicer should help you, not guide you. Yeah.
Perfect. Love that thought, Michał. So are you ready with your myth?
Yeah, I am.
Perfect. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so my myth is that you always should use color coding in your company's reports. And what I mean by this is there are cases where people want to have always the same color for the same value, like the blue for sales. And some people, they say they don't, that the report should have its own colors and just, keep with the UI. So what do you think?
I'm going to say yes. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Do you want to
Okay,
start,
so-
Lakshmi?
Yes,
Yes.
sure. I was just peeping into the chat. I think let's wait for a couple of seconds. Let's see what people say. Oh, yeah, I have a yes. True. Yay, team, true. Okay, perfect.
No.
So the reason I say that it's always good to have a certain set of colors, like fixed certain set of colors, because it helps to comprehend the dashboard faster. In the sense, if I know red means this, blue means this, yellow means this, and if it's uniform across my entire dashboard, it's easy for me to understand what's going on. It's basically like having a visual language. So I know if it's green, I'm good to go. If it's red, this is my action point. And I also think something that's really important for people like me who have anxiety, ADHD, is pattern recognition. So for me, everything has to be there should be a pattern, and I'm a very organized person. I know, Michał, you're just the opposite. For me, like I need everything to be organized. So when I know that these colors mean this in all my dashboards, I'm in for it. So that's my case for true.
Okay, I hear you there.
I
And
can accept it.
yeah, I partially agree, but still no. I want to explain. I agree with having like one color. I always use one color for last year. Every time I show last year, it's gray. So my clients know if they see gray in a report, that's last year. But when I saw the question, it says always, and I struggle a little bit with that because if you use color coding for almost everything, like also sales or quantity or different categories, at a certain point of time, you have probably like 20 colors that you're using for coding everything. I'm exaggerating a little bit here. But you have all these colors and then you can't use them anymore to highlight stuff because if sales is already blue and I want to highlight that these are very good sales, do I make them lighter blue or darker blue or do I make them green? But what if green is the color for quantity or for next year or it can get so complicated. So I said no. I partially agree with yes, because I do some color coding, but I pick them very carefully. So no color coding for everything, but very carefully picked.
That's a good point. I never thought about it.
So thank you. I also have to say, maybe it's not good, but I'm a team no. Because Valerie, when you said that you can use 20 colors, you weren't exaggerating. I had a situation like this.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I was like having battles like, do we really have to use this? Because there were colors like of all the rainbow, and I just couldn't make the report work because then you have brown, green, pink, everything. And I started asking people, the users, can you tell me what blue means? Is it sales or is it orders? They couldn't tell really, like maybe 3 or 4 main KPIs, they could identify them by color. And the rest, which was less significant, they couldn't. So I also said no, because I think that the report, it depends also on the user, of course, but in general, it has to appeal to you and it has to be consistent. But the report, you can have a UI language, design language. You can use consistent colors, but maybe choose a couple KPIs that they are going to be, in the same color, so you can have the color coding. But you should also play with it so it reads well, because when you have the contrast bad, and it's actually important because you may have a, for example, yellow KPI on a white canvas, and if this yellow is not too bright, then it's not going to look okay, and it may also not be so accessible. So you have to be smart about it. So I'm definitely a team no, but with some exceptions, of course. Like I can see the value in color coding. It's just, in my experience, people don't really remember those colors, but it's good to know there is an order, and some people like it, knowing there is an order, like you said, Lakshmi.
Yes, and something that I want to add here is just a quick tip for everyone right here is whenever I use a color, right, I try to pair it with something supportive, like a narrative, like a text or like an icon or an emoji. And that way, if I do not know what my color means, at least my text or my icon is going to give it away. So just a quick tip for everyone there.
That's so smart. Do not only rely on color, but also put in some description or some text there.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you both for this, because this was so much fun. I didn't look at the chat, so I don't know what people have written down. I hope you all found something, don't agree, have discussions. That's good. It's good to have these discussions and learn what others are thinking. So now I would like to go actually inside the mind of one of you two, because I want to know, like, you were finalists, and how was that experience? What did you create? Can you show something shared with us? And I would like to start, I think, with Lakshmi. Can you share your screen and all the information?
Sure, absolutely. I would love to. Perfect. Great. So before I start, I just wanted to say that thank to both of you. I love the Mythbusters game. Really good to know what others think. And I am so happy that we proved that data people can be fun. So yay. And okay, perfect. Now let's get inside the mind of Lakshmi, basically me. So if you really want to know what's in my mind, it's most of the time my dog Casper and food. And we both love food. So that's in the mind of Lakshmi. But jokes aside, today what I want to do is just share a little more meaningful. I want to share what I believe helped me become a two-time Dataviz World Champs finalist. It's not a specific visual or a specific trick. I just think it's all about the mindset before you even start building a report. So two things that are non-negotiable to me when I'm creating a report, either on a professional level or for a Dataviz championship or just because I want to do it. Whenever I create a report, these are the two things that are non-negotiable. And these things actually guide me in every design decision that I make. The first one is every element on my report should have a purpose. That's very important to me. Next is every report should have something that's unique. And I think the second one is my favorite. I'll talk about both of them shortly. Let's start on the first thing. The first thing is the very important rule that I believe is every element on your report should have a purpose. And when I say every element, right, it could be a color, an icon, the text, the white space, or even a little icon that you spend 20 minutes aligning. So I do that, right? So for me, everything has to be perfect. And before adding anything into my report, there's one thing that I ask is, why is this here? Is it making sense? Is it going to help the user go towards a decision? Is it making the experience easier? If I get an answer no for any of one of the question, then it simply doesn't belong on my report. So I'm just going to show a quick, the report that I made. So the report that I'm going to show you right now actually got me a chance that's how I became a finalist in the 2026 FabCon Atlanta. So this is the report where I'm comparing Briarport, which is a city, to a couple of other cities. And there are a couple of metrics. So this was my first page. You see how very limited visuals. This is because that's the landing page. So once you come to the landing page, I have a title, I have a subtitle, I have buttons, and I have a text that clearly says that these are buttons. You have to select a metric to explore. Say I click on the metric transit score. So this is where I land. Now this, you might be like, oh my God, this just has 2 to 3 visuals. How come this even made it to the finale, right? Things that I did, like we're talking about the first thing, like everything has to have a purpose. So initially, when we start a report, we start with the KPI card. We start with what is the city average? What is the Briarport average? How many cities are there? What is the rank of Briarport? Now, instead of having 4 separate KPIs, you see how I squeezed them, made it into 2 KPIs that tells a story better. So if you see the first box that's highlighted, it tells me that the Briarport average is 71.62 versus I'm also giving the city average right next to it. So I could compare side by side, and also I'm saving space. And same is the case. Instead of telling me that there are 12 cities and then Briarport is ranked 4, what I'm doing is just in a single line mentioning that overall rank is 4 out of 12. Next, if you see this particular line chart, I could have just stopped with Briarport line, so basically the blue line that you see. But I went ahead and added an extra element. Some might feel it is cluttered, you don't really need it, but it really made sense to me. Because if you see the title clearly says that the score declined from 2015 to 2024, but always remained above the average of all the other cities. In order to justify that particular title, I made sure that I had the average of all the other cities. So see, like that particular element has a purpose. It tells me a story. Next, on the right side, if you see, I have a bar chart and only Briarport is highlighted in blue. So basically talking about color. The reason I made the choice is since I am explicitly mentioning that the Briarport is ranked 4, I wanted to highlight it and show that this is the list of cities and Briarport is at 4. So basically, that particular color also served its purpose. Next, let's talk about design choices. So you see, I have a simple spark line. You see how I have those highest points marked in blues. So that's also a purpose. Now I know that towards the end of the year, all my cities are at their highest. So that's one way of telling that. Next, if you see, I have, I'm so sorry, I went back. Okay. You see, I have used icons. See the sizing of the icons. There are 2 icons which are comparatively bigger than the 3 other icons on the screen. That's because I use icons to highlight, or I would say like to guide the user. I really want the user to see that specific element, and I feel that's really important. So these are some examples of when I say that every element, like even if you add an icon, it should have a purpose. A color, it should have a purpose. So that's pretty much about point number 1. The next thing that I said, very close to my heart, is every report should have something that is uniquely yours. And I think this is becoming more important these days because AI has changed the way we create. AI can create beautiful layouts, can create beautiful color palettes, and even design ideas, right? It even gives you design ideas. And honestly, some of them look really, really good. But the challenge is, if everyone starts using the same AI, the same prompt, same template, same inspiration, eventually everything is going to look the same. The thing that AI cannot replace is your personal perspective, your creativity, your story, or your way of telling a story, right? So maybe your signature is adding great annotations, or using interactions in a clever way, or maybe it's just how you simplify the complex content. So that little fingerprint or that little special element that you had makes someone look at your report and say that I know who made this report. And that truly is very important to me. Now, when I was talking about my report, what is something that I did which is like my style or which is uniquely me? So on the left side, you see how I have a section which says Briarport versus peer city. So basically, I'm comparing with the other cities, right? And then you see I have 3 buttons on the top. The first button is the rank trends. When I click the rank trends, it's a bookmark feature of Power BI. I have a visual. I used a line chart, converted a line chart to a slope chart. So you see how powerful Power BI is, right? To convert it into a slope chart to explain a rank. And then you see how Briarport is highlighted in blue. That's because my title clearly says that from 2015 to 2024, Briarport dropped from 5 to 7. So once I read, say I am an executive, I do not have time to look into the visual. I just need to read the title and I'm good to go. Next, when I click on metric overview, you see how I have a different type of visual, which I just showed you before, gives a clear indication what my rank is. And then I have a detailed overview for a different type of end user who wants to see more details. I have a table right there. So this is one of the things that was very unique in my report. The next part, and I would say my favorite part, and I think that's something that set me apart from all the other participants, is this particular section where scenario analysis and strategic actions. I am a true believer that every report should drive to some action. People should be able to take an action after it. Now, since this data set was completely fictional and I wanted to play around with it, what I did is I simulated a scenario analysis. If you see on that section, I have something called what if. So Power BI has this feature called what if analysis, where you can actually simulate scenarios. On clicking the what if scenario, you get a pop-up like this. What you can do, what you see is I have a slider on the top, which says 13 currently. You have the option to play around with the slider. When you play around with the slider, you will actually see the line chart, the slope chart below move. I will just show you a demo just after I finish with my slides. So what happens is now I'm telling that if my transit score increases by 13 points, I'm going to actually rank up. So the more my score increases, my rank is going to go up. A quick simulation to see how I can improve. Now I know that I need to improve my transit score by 13 points. Only then I'm going to reach rank 3. Next, what do I do? So now I have a section called policy suggestions. Of course, I took help from AI, but I have policy suggestions jotted down one after another. Like quick examples, like start a shuttle program, a free shuttle program. And you see how when I gave a suggestion, I also mentioned what estimated time it might be, what it might take, what might be the estimated budget, and then a quick description. Now, I could have just thrown all this text as it is on the screen, but you see how each of them is grouped together. They have their color coding. Again, going back to the Mythbusters, I really like color coding. So if you see, my policies are in dark blue, my estimated time and estimated budgets are in grays. So these are the two creative things that I did. Before I wind up, I just want to add something that just want to clarify something, basically, that do not just focus on creativity. Your creativity should not compete with your analysis, right? The goal here is not to win a beauty contest. So make sure that you use creativity with analysis. Like, use your creativity to ask the best questions, to tell compelling stories. How do you do that? Using analysis. Analysis will help you provide the clarity. So creativity and an analysis together will give you a great insights, beautiful stories, and better decisions. The goal here is creativity makes your analysis stronger. The reason I'm focusing here is recently I've been seeing people going crazy with their dashboards. People are like focusing totally on the creativity part and ignoring the analysis part. And in the Dataviz Championship, it's the judges actually take in action both creativity and analysis. Do not just think if your report is beautiful, you might just win it. It's not that. The judges actually take care of your accessibility, of your creativity, insightfulness, everything. So that's something that you should always remember. So just focusing back on two things that I really wanted to share with you. And if there is one thing I want you to take away today is, don't just build a report, build experience. Make sure every element on your screen, on your report, has its place. And don't be afraid to be creative. Try to bring your personality into your work, because something you need to remember is tools will make you create faster, but your creativity is going to keep your work memorable. And yeah, I've been ranting a lot. And I would just love to quickly show the what if scenario that I was talking about. Yeah, so here's my Power BI screen. Let's go to my transit score and let's go to what if analysis. And should I zoom in a little bit? Perfect. So now you see I have a slider right here. When I play around with the slider, you see how my rank drops. So what happens if I have 0? So basically what it means is, if I have 0, if I make no changes to my transit score, my rank is going to fall to 7. And that's something that I do not want. So how do I increase it? I need to increase the transit score. So you see, like, I keep playing around with my slider. You see how my slope graph keeps moving, right? So at one point, I think when I reach 13, that's where I get my ranking to 3. So this might just be, this is just a simulation, but it at least gives a quick idea on what are the points that I need to work on. So now I know that for transit score, I really need to work on transit score to get my rank from 7 to 3. And yeah, that's pretty much that I wanted to show. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for showing this and also giving us this demo, but also your tips. And this is so useful. And I saw people in the chat agreeing with everything you're saying. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Because we're a little bit short on time, I want to directly go to Michał, and I would like to see what you want to share with us.
All right, I'll try to be quick because Lakshmi said, amazing things, and I agree with everything. Like, I'm all on board. Like, this is how it should be. So I have a little bit more something different, more like lifestyle thing on how to approach things. All right, I'm sharing my screen right now. Please, can you tell me, can you see it?
It's coming up. Yeah, we see it.
So I just wanted to dive into my mind and to make maybe some more people comfortable, because this was my journey actually when creating the report for championships. I wasn't sure, like I had so many doubts and I had chaos in my mind. And it's always like that. So before I start anything doing in the report, yeah, it's like everything's broken. I cannot even start visualizing things once my model is not good, not great, really. Like, because I need to know what's in there, what can I connect it with, how many discoveries can I possibly make, because every relation is potentially a new discovery. So the more you do it and the more consistent it is, then you can make better discoveries. And this actually takes a huge part of creating my reports, because I cannot really focus on the visuals when I don't know what I would like to show, you know. But then there is another problem. When I have the model, but I cannot really, you know, decide if this is good or this is bad, because I can do one visual that's nice, but then maybe I will do something like Lakshmi, the what if analysis. And what I'm doing then, I'm trying to be the person who's going to use this and ask myself questions and to see if those visuals, other visuals, are okay, or maybe I would need something more if I have those questions, because there is a difference when you are designing a report from a technical perspective and when the user is going to use it. So it's always like create, repeat, and delete, you know, and it ends. And then you have the click, you know, when you do it. But this is quite important, and I know that many people are struggling with this too, that maybe they are not good because they cannot decide on one thing. And you are not alone. Like, I do it all the time. So it's good to exercise your visual building so you can do it fast, and then you can have lots of ideas and see how it works. Because, yeah, it's like with concept cars. Like, concept car never goes to production. It's always like something different in the end.
Yes.
And and the third thing I wanted to say to all of you is the step away. When designing, when trying to think about the report, even when you have a deadline, you really should, you know, stop for a while and just give it a breath, because overthinking, you know, kills ideas. It's not good for you. And for me, it's really nice sometimes to make a break, even 15 minutes, to change the topic or maybe take some other tasks, to just break from it, you know. And then suddenly you may get a click that, yeah, this is how I want to do it, or this is how I want to build it. And what I'm usually doing is, when I have the semantic model built, and then I start to think about it. Like, for example, when I go to sleep, I think what I would like to show there. Like, I want to show something that's better than you could see in an Excel, maybe a new discovery, or maybe try to think of some connections that you can have that are not, like, you know, visible at the first glance. Yeah. And so just casually thinking about it is actually something that is doing more for you than just, you know, focusing on it for like 5 hours straight and, you know, coffee after coffee. And yeah, so you should really give yourself a break. And also wanted to show you one thing. I will show you my report, but the page that almost nobody has seen. So this is the page that I did not make during the finals, but it had plans. And I wanted to show the color coding here, because I didn't use colors for one KPI. I could use the colors to show you something interesting, actually. Like, you probably can see straight away that Japan is here and another orange bar is here.
Yep.
And it shows you in this data, I wanted to do something that's going to be, you know, different, more informative. And I've connected 2 fact tables from 2 different perspectives into one. So, for example, here we have the accent, and you can see who earns the most, but here is the efficiency. So you can see how efficient they really are. So this is, I think, nice insight, because the first in one thing can be, you know, the last in the other thing. And by playing with colors smartly, like, you can do it, and you can play with it. So you can see, like, for example, in Africa, they do much better job because they are efficient and they earn the most from their peer group. But to come to this, oh my God, you know, this is like 2 or 3 nights thinking, because I didn't want to show a simple bar chart, like, you know, sales over some groups or something.
Got it.
Yeah, it was some serious thinking, and I even thought about not uploading to the championships, and I'm glad that I did. And I encourage all of you to do the same, because you never know. You may not like it, and some other people will.
Yes.
So it's definitely worth the try. And I wanted to show you one more thing from the myths, because I actually remembered it. This is what I used, for example, here. We have a scatter plot, but you see, we have Georgia and Afghanistan here. So because of that, we have this like very small, very cluttered. So this is why I added the zoom, because now we can just zoom in, get rid of those. Now, for me, now they are not important. And now I can focus on the bigger groups here. So this is what I'm doing with the axis. Actually, we have 0 axis here, but the principle is the same, for other types of visuals.
Got it. I'm going to steal the Zoom idea.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I've stolen so much
seen that
from
before.
you. I've stolen too much things from you, so you can take it. No problem.
Perfect.
Yes. So yeah, we don't have much time, so I'll just sum it up quickly to all of you. That first, try to gather your data and work on it. Then don't try to iterate. Like, you need to have ideas. If you would see my Figma workspace, you would go crazy. Like, it's everything's everywhere. Yeah, and then take breaks. I think this is the message I want to send to everybody.
Yes.
And just try, because championships are great. It's great for you. It really develops your skills. I've learned a lot. I was also seeing how others do, because you don't have all the ideas. Some people have great ideas. That's why sharing is so nice. I've also used a lot of other people's ideas. When I can, I always write them on LinkedIn that I've stolen this. Yeah, I love it, that you have this possibility. So I encourage everyone to do so.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you. And your report looks amazing. And that Zoom button, I will definitely steal that, because that's amazing. I have one last question for both of you. And it was actually asked by the community in the chat. Someone asked, can you share some tips and advice around formulating questions to answer with the data? So let's say you want to compete, you get the data set. How do you know which questions you want to answer?
Well, I can take it first. So 2 things that I do is, first, I look who the end audience is, because if I know who the end audience is, I know what they're looking for. If I do not have an end audience into it, something that I like to do is spend a day or 2 going inside the semantic model, looking at trends. And for me, something that really excites me are outliers, or something that's very unusual. And then once I found an outlier, I try to find a story out of it. And I think that's how I come to my reports.
Yeah, it's very important to talk to. You need to know what other people want, but then you can't let them decide what they see in the report. I'm sorry I'm saying this, but most people will tell you, I want a table, export to Excel, and some bar charts, and maybe a timeline. But you need to make them formulate their idea, their goals. So once you have it, you can start asking yourself the questions about this data set. And if you know it well, then you can think, you can research. Like, what I like to do, I didn't show it here, like there was no time, but I like to use mathematical things like the Pareto, like the logarithmic, logarithmic charts. I even in my first report, I did the Gaussian chart, because sometimes people don't know that math can be exciting, and it actually shows you a lot, shows them patterns. So you need to give it a try to explore it and see if this answers the problem. But some people may not know that they need it. But once you show them, and you can show what decisions you can make with this, then it's going to have power. And I think that's the mission of a BI developer, not to just make reports as they order, but to give an advice, a business advice, what's good and what's more to go from the data,
Yes. Thank you both for your advice here. I agree with both of you. I have nothing more to add. I'm so happy that you both joined me, and I can encourage everyone that is watching this right now to join the championship, participate, give it a try. Even if you just started with Power BI, give it a try, and maybe you are on that stage in Barcelona. And if you're not on the stage at the stage in Barcelona, you learned something, you got inspired, and that's also worth something.
Yeah.
Thank you both for joining me. We're right on time. So thank you also all for watching this.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye, Mythbusters.
Bye.
Thank you all for joining, and thanks again to our speakers. This session is a part of a series. To register for future shows and watch past episodes on demand, you can follow the link on the screen or in the chat. We're always looking to improve our sessions and your experience. If you have any feedback for us, we would love to hear what you have to say. You can find that link on the screen or in the chat. And we'll see you at the next one.